This is a special meeting agenda with our Kootenai County Sheriff's Office. Attending are Commissioners Duncan, Brooks, and Filios. Do we have any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, one and only action item, which is the Summit Food Services Contract Amendment. Lieutenant Ellis? Are we getting feedback?
Feedback.
You might need to tell them to mute.
Yeah, if everyone on the phone can mute themselves until they're ready to speak, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Also, Leslie, if you can ask him to turn up the volume, please. I can hardly hear Chris.
Okay, will do.
Okay, Jonathan just turned it.
Thank you.
Is this any better, Bill?
They're still.
A little bit, but it could go up twice as much.
Okay, is it any better now?
Yeah, marginally.
Okay.
How about now? Better?
Well, okay, I'll make do. I'll just hold it close to my ear.
Okay. Anyway, Lieutenant Ellis, did you want to?
Yes, good afternoon, Commissioners. Lieutenant Nancy Ellis with the Sheriff's Office Jail. We're here to enter in discussions with you regarding the Summit Food Services contract for inmate food at the jail. Summit is submitting a contract amendment, kind of like the medical department did a few weeks ago. We have Summit's representative, April Lee, the Business Development Director, on the phone to explain the contract amendment to you.
Okay, go right ahead, please.
Hello, Commissioners. This is April Lee. I'm the Business Development Director for Summit Food Service for this region.
Okay.
And as the Lieutenant said, we are requesting a contract amendment for our inmate food contract with the County Sheriff's Office for the primary purpose of doing a wage increase for our food service workers in the kitchen. Of our 6 positions we have in the kitchen, we've had 3 to 4 open positions for about 4 to 5 months, which has resulted in substantial overtime and burnout of the 2 remaining staff. We have done labor analysis for every single account we have throughout the country, given what is taking place in the labor market. And I'll just give you a few points of places that we looked here in our local region to determine where we think we need to be with wages in order to fill and retain those positions. So what we're competing against is the food contractor at NIC is currently paying $18 to $20 an hour for their food service workers. Spokane County's jail is paying between $22 and $30 an hour for their food service workers in their kitchen with substantial sign-on bonuses. And then we typically compete with local fast food. We find we have to be a couple dollars higher than local fast food to compete with those positions. And here locally, the fast food, McDonald's, Panda Express, a few others that we've looked at, have raised wages to $16 to $17 an hour. Some retail positions here throughout Coeur d'Alene are as high as $20. And we also have active recruiting from the Amazon warehouse in Spokane Valley at $22 an hour with $3,000 sign-on bonuses. So our labor analysis shows we really need to be at an $18 an hour wage range or higher. So what we're proposing in the amendment is a new price scale that reflects that. And you'll see 2 things in the amendment. The first one is simply to raise wages, but the jail would also like to get back on a schedule where this contract renews concurrent with your fiscal year. So you'll see a second price per meal scale there that also takes into account what would be the annual CPI increase that would take effect in February. So initially, the price per meal increase would happen immediately, and we would raise wages for those open positions to $18 an hour. And then the second scale would take effect February 1st with the cost per living or CPI increase.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Lee?
Yeah, I would like to know, is all the money that will be, if we do this, will the money that we pay more for, is that going to be going to the help in the form of wages, 100% of it?
Yeah, we did not add any additional profit of any sort to this. What we did is we repriced the entire contract at these wage rates and also accounted for food cost increases, which is substantial, as I'm sure you well know, with what's going on with inflation. The cost of food has also gone up. So those two things account for the price per meal increase. Just to give you an idea, our current wages for these open positions, when we wrote this contract not quite a year ago, were around $14 to $15 an hour, depending on the position. So it's a pretty substantial wage increase for those positions.
Okay. Leslie, any questions?
Well, yeah, I'm just curious about the change in contract dates. Can you go over that again about, because our year runs October 1 through September 30th, but you wanted a different time frame than that?
Yes.
No. What we're attempting to do is getting it back on that time frame. So this contract was renegotiated with some changes to commissary and staff dining last February. So the contract effective date ended up being February. So that got it off kilter with your fiscal year. So since we were coming forward with an amendment anyway to change the wages, what we're proposing is in the same amendment, we also include the CPI increase that would happen on an annual basis, but we'll only do that for 6 months until October 1st. Then you're back on an October 1st renewal, so it lines up with your fiscal year.
Okay, so the amount, if approved today, when we start our budget process in April and May, then that's really not going to be an increase as of October 1st.
No, you would be, you'd see in that amendment, I don't know if you have it in front of you, Leslie, but there's a second price scale
Yes,
that would include the CPI, which would take effect February 15th,
right.
and that would be what would go into your new budget year.
Okay, that was my question. And then as far as ways to pay for it, I mean, were we looking at contingency? I mean,
Well, we looked at our last 3-year trends for the food services budget, and the last 3 years we were consistently under budget. So if we went with the $18 increase per our calculations, that would still leave us about $24,000 under budget for '22.
thank you.
Okay, so what does the increase actually come out to? It looks to be,
Based on our projections, if we use our current month averages,
yes.
we're about 11% spent now, 15% of the way in the year. What's that total?
Which one?
Yeah, that one.
70.
Yeah, we'll come out to 706, excuse me, 777, I can't read, sorry. 776,078, and we budgeted 800 for the year.
Oh, okay.
So we're actually under budget, and most of that's because of our inmate population had been lower than what we had anticipated at this point.
I get, and that's fine. What I was trying to get to was the actual increase
Oh,
over
sorry.
what was quoted, and go ahead, I'm coming up
Well,
with, yeah,
here, I don't know, this was sent to, yeah, I think you have it.
I've got it here. So what I'm looking at,
Yeah, so it's gonna be price per meal under here.
Right.
under here,
Yeah,
precisely.
so it's gonna fluctuate. We can't really project that, but if we've got 400 to 424,
Right, at $1.10 more a meal, 3 meals per inmate per day, times, I'm just gonna say 400
400.
inmates, times 365 days. And I think, unless my math is wrong, 30 grand? That's an increase.
Yeah, from last year to this year, probably, yeah. Yeah, I've got
Does
close
that
to
sound about right?
40, yeah. That's about right.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Bill? What?
I don't think there's much we can do about this. So, who wants higher prices? But at the same time, we have to deal with the reality.
April kept using the CPI. Can I just confirm that means cost per inmate?
No.
Consumer Price Index.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And commissioners, even if, on her pricing chart there, if we were to go away from the 18 to a $20 an hour, we'd still be close to within budget. I think 19 is the actual, if we were to hit 800,000 at the end of the year, offering $19 an hour entry pay for Summit Foods people, that would probably completely even out our budget on that cost per meal per inmate
Okay.
grid that you have there. So we've got some room to work still.
So at
Hopefully.
at 2:00 today, when we approve it, are we approving a hard 18? Are we approving up to 20?
Yeah.
What
I
are
think
we
it's
approving?
important to lock in a price, because these prices will change. If we don't lock this in for the next year,
Yeah.
6 months, if you ask them to come back, that could
Sure.
potentially be much higher than the 4.7%.
Sure.
The CPI where we're currently at, it could be 6 or 7% with inflation.
I
But
guess I'm
that we don't know, because we don't have a crystal ball.
more asking the 18 an hour versus 20 an hour.
Well, I think the purpose is to not have to come back to the board if we stuck within those two. If we did, we could give a status and say, hey, we'd like to switch to that 20 at this point, and we look at where the financing's at for the year. That's not unheard of,
Okay.
if you want to approve it with a contingency clause.
I have a question. What are we paying starting detention deputies per hour?
21 and some
Did
change.
you hear that, Bill?
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
And if I might add,
Yeah, go ahead.
Controller Robert
Can you,
Norris-
I'm sorry, can you turn your mic on?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Robert Norris, Sheriff, Commissioner Brooks, and we start control room operators off at 16 and jail clerks at 14.52.
Okay. Anything else? So I guess we're not making a decision now, right? It's gonna come before us. It does indicate action. But are we gonna formally approve it at the business meeting?
We've
I
got it
don't-
on the
I don't-
agenda for the business meeting.
It's not on
Yeah.
action. Just the
Oh, I'm
changes are
sorry,
action.
change was action, that
Yeah.
was discussion.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, it's
Okay.
on the business meeting at 2:00.
Okay, that's fine. Anything else?
So if I could recap Commissioner Duncan's question, the maximum approximately, I know that it fluctuates based on our population, but approximately $30,000 maximum, more dollars.
We're not asking for any more budget money, no, we're just asking to increase the rate, right, what they're offering right now, and it still falls within what we budgeted for the year for our food services line item. But what I don't
Is
believe
that
we're
what
gonna
you
be,
get, $30,000 more? Or?
Well, I guess I was just more like, are we approving the 18? Are we approving the 20? What are we doing? But it sounds like we're going to go with the 18 and then come back if the 18 is not sufficient. But even the 20 sounds like it's within budget. So I was just going to take the next, I don't know,
And if it
20
becomes a-
minutes to think about it.
if it becomes that $20 an hour grid, we're gonna have to talk about contingency money at that point, because we will go over a little bit, I don't know how much, but estimated around 20,000 over budget.
Okay, so at $20 an hour is about 20,000 over budget.
Over budget, correct.
Okay,
But
And
the
the
in-
18's still under budget, we hope.
yeah.
Yeah, the increase, and I was wrong earlier, so if you look at the current
Mm-hmm.
versus the 18 an hour, it's an increase of about 90 cents per meal. And I've got a calculator here, so if you take 90 cents a meal,
No,
times three meals a day for the, okay? Times 400 inmates, right? Times 365 days, 394,000 is the increase.
Well, okay.
If I
but
did that
you're-
right.
You're only looking at the CPI, so we've got a two-step thing here. So, this is the first one,
That's correct.
and then as of February 1st, it's this one. So this increase is after this increase.
After that increase, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just calculating the first increase. just to get an idea.
Right, which
From
is
this to
$1.10,
this.
which is $1.
Oh, okay, I took 90
Dollar.
cents. Okay.
Yeah, so
So closer to 400,000 is the increase.
40,000.
400,000?
40,000.
No, 40,000.
You sure?
Yeah.
It's just,
You said
it's just
$1?
under
Okay, hold on,
40,000
sorry.
on the
The meal price increase is only going for, it's currently estimated at $1.65 per meal.
Right?
It's going to $1.74.
Right, so that's an increase of,
17 cents.
Yes.
0.091 increase.
It's 9 cents.
okay, hold on, 174.
Okay, so
That's
April,
nice.
we're
That's a
just
9
trying to,
increase per meal.
yeah, 9
Trying to
cent.
get a picture, okay.
Yeah.
Let me clarify a couple things
Yeah,
for
Okay.
you. So
Go ahead.
for Commissioner Filios's question, it is a 0.091 cent per meal increase, so just over 9 cents a meal. For the year at 400 inmates, that is a $39,858 increase.
Right.
Right.
On the question about
so-
wages, our
Yeah.
intent would be to advertise the open positions at 18 and work to hire at that. If that is
Yeah.
not feasible to do and we feel like we need to move it higher than that, if you approve up to the $20 an hour today, then we would work with the jail on when and how we make that jump. What I talked to Captain Deke about earlier today was explaining with the changes in the cost of food right now, what our attempt to do by giving you a scale that has multiple wage ranges would be to lock in that rate for you right now. Because if we come back to you in 3 or 4 months with $18 an hour, still doesn't get us there. We need to go to 20. We have to reprice your entire menu at that point, at food costs at that point, which is likely to be higher. So if you prove the 18 and the 20 today, you lock in what these prices are at today's food prices.
Okay, so, so today is $1.653.
That would be if we approve it at 2:00, it goes to $1.653, and then in February, it would go to $1.744.
Got it, okay.
Unless we went ahead. See, I'm kind of leaning towards saying not to exceed $20 an hour at this point. And then if you that way you don't come back to us if 18 is not going to work. You can go to 19 and kind of go there. And then our food prices will be locked into that amount. That's just my thought process.
And that was our intention, Commissioner, to give you that option. We will obviously try to hire at as low a wage as we can keep it. We won't jump right to 20. We'll try the 18 first, and then, like you say, if we have to move incrementally up to get somebody, our point is to fill those positions with people who are of the quality we want in your jail, who will stay there and have some stability in the operation.
Sure. Okay, I think
Okay,
I'm good.
Okay, Bill?
Where are you advertising for these positions?
So we've changed quite a few things over the last 4 to 5 months. All of the online services, Indeed, Monster, all of those, but we're also competing with many of those I mentioned earlier that have raised wages that we're competing against are doing direct mail campaigns. I probably get 5 postcards a day for food service jobs in the local area just to my mailbox here in Coeur d'Alene. So we are also taking that approach. We have put on a dedicated recruiter just for our corrections division, just for the Northwest, because that is where we're having the biggest problem. Washington, Oregon, California, Idaho, Utah are our biggest problem states. So we have a dedicated recruiter who's actively doing Facebook Live interviews, all of the technology, and then we do some local advertising.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, that's it? Okay. Yeah, Bill, go ahead.
I said, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, the increase was like 39,400. I had too many decimal places. I
Yeah.
just recalculated. And that's from the that's from the current to the $18 an hour wage rate, so, and you guys are fine.
Right, so
Okay.
it's actually 16.6 cents to do the 18, and then if you went up to the 20, it would be
right.
25.6 cents.
Right,
So essentially, it's kind of two,
right.
two different increases.
Just
so.
so you understand the comfort level that I have with this, our 3-year average was 741,000 roughly. So if you add that 40,000 to that, we're still in that
Yep,
high 780 number.
sure.
Okay. Nothing else? Okay. Public comment?
I would like to make a public comment,
Go ahead.
not to be confused with comments regarding the increase in food service costs. It bothers me a lot when I see food service personnel being paid more to start than control room operators and detention deputies, and I think that's something we need to look at.
We are.
I didn't think they're being paid more than detention deputies, more than control room, right?
More than control.
No, not
but
patrol.
You certainly create a compression issue
Okay,
when
yeah.
you've got, food service personnel at X amount of dollars and deputies at 21, so.
Okay.
That's why.
Hopefully, we'll be addressing that towards the end of December or January with an accelerated wage study.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to bring that up. That's all.
Okay. Okay, then. No other public comment? The time is 1:52, meeting adjourned. Thank you. See you at 2 o'clock.